Jambo mambo familia angu. Mimi ni Eli-Ben-Eli. Habari gani? I hope everybody is doing well. Asante sana for coming to watch my video. I saw something today that I found, I don't even know how to describe it. Okay, I like watching certain videos. You know, I like watching pretty ladies try on intimate apparels, and I like doing that on YouTube. You know, and I was watching this one woman, and she was taking off and putting on stockings and other apparels of that kind. She was completely naked on YouTube. It was like, wow, that was kind of amazing. Maybe that's what YouTube is coming to, and I don't know whether I condemn it or not. You know, my attitude is that if a channel is being watched by adults and that's what adults want to watch, I don't know. But anyway, you know, it's like, I don't know for me what's more honest or dishonest. Watching a woman that's like that, okay, versus watching one that almost is naked but not completely, it's about the same thing. I think the ones that are completely naked maybe are a little more honest, you know. But anyway, I'm having a very, very good day, and you know, I was watching Fellow the Boy, and I have such mixed feelings about Fellow the Boy. I don't know whether he's a villain or a good person. 99% of me thinks that Fellow the Boy is a good person. A long while ago, I noticed that there was a house right behind his compound. And I sent him a message telling him, you know, that house is empty. Why don't you go ahead and try to buy it? And he did address it. He talked about it. But he decided he wasn't going to do it, and now it appears that he is going to go ahead and buy that house. You know, Fellow the Boy is a blessed person. He's building, he's going to have a spectacular home. You know, it's not going to be a mess. It's not going to be a big garage like the Villa Medellin. You know, he has a store that he uses right now as a temporary place to live, which is a very nice place to live. He's going to have the house that he built for himself. And now he's going to have a guest house that he can use as a Airbnb or whatever. You know, my only suggestion to Fellow the Boy would be very careful that you have that second house and suddenly relatives, you know, move in. And for all intents and purposes, this becomes their home because they're relatives and they're living there, and you can't just throw them out. You know, it's like there's always a danger of people getting allowing relatives to move into their homes, and the next thing you know, it's no longer your home. They're taking it over. They're acting like if it's their home. I'm a big believer in You know, it's one thing to have somebody visit you. It's even one thing to have somebody stay with you temporarily. But when the place that you call home becomes a place that you no longer feel happy in, and you're feeling like if you're the person who's there visiting, it's time to tell people to get out. You know, but that's the only problem I see with, you know, with Fellow having that second house. Really, if Fellow is smart, what he would do is try to find somebody to rent it to or do Airbnb. But Fellow has a lot of relatives, and a lot of them don't seem to be doing as well as he is doing. You know, I find it remarkable that Fellow the Boy has managed to accumulate the land that he owns. He's about to get another piece of land. He's leased land to grow maize on. You know, and the man is doing all of this, and what does it, you know, how many followers does he have? He has about 7,000 followers. You know, there are people that have hundreds of times more followers and thousands of times more followers than Fellow the Boy, who have not done nearly as much as he is doing. You know, and the thing with Fellow the Boy is that what you see is what you get. Fellow the Boy is honestly out there. You know, I hate to put it this way, but he's honest enough to admit that that's what he's doing. He's out there begging, you know, and, you know, there's a story that they tell in America, and I don't know whether, I haven't verified it myself, but you hear a lot of varieties of this story, and that is that you have a person who, one version of the story is that there's a man who sits in front of a great big expensive building, you know, and he sits there with a bowl in front of him, and people, as they pass by, throw coins in the bowl. And, you know, a new assistant property manager comes into the building. He walks past this guy and he looks at him with disapproval. And he makes up his mind that something must be done about it. So he talks to his superiors, and he asks, what is this man doing out there? Oh, leave him alone. He doesn't bother anybody. No, you know, this is a classy property. We can't have him just sitting out there. I'm going to talk to him. And he approached the old man and told him, listen, get out of here. You know, you're not supposed to be doing that here. And the old man ignored him, and he stayed there. And it happened again, and the old man continued to ignore him, so he brought in the property manager, the overall property manager, and the property manager walked out and looked at the old man, looked at the young man, and greeted the old man saying, hello, sir, how are you, blah, blah, blah. They talked for a while. And then he turned to the young man and told him, please come with me to my office. And when they went into his office, he told him, listen, you've been bothering this old man. You were told to leave him alone, but you continue to bother him. We're going to have to, you know, let you go. And the man says, why? You know, I'm trying to protect this property. We don't need a beggar sitting in front of the property. At that point, somebody bothers, his boss points out to him, that old man, that old beggar owns this building. He's your employer. I have seen stories on television of people who are sitting in the street begging, and when the day is done and they're through begging, they get up and they're followed, and they go to a very expensive Mercedes-Benz, climb in, and drive out to a huge estate in the suburbs. True stories. So the point is this. You know, a man may just be a beggar and everything on the surface, but in reality, you don't really know what that man is doing. Fellow the Boy, with or without Facebook, seems to be doing an awful lot for himself. So I commend him for that. You know, and at the end of the day, what's the difference in between somebody like Fellow the Boy and Marwa? You know, Fellow the Boy does beg. He says that he begs for other people. Most of what he says he's gonna do for himself, he does out of his Facebook, his YouTube earnings. Marwa, on the other hand, you know, it's like every now and then he'll do something like, oh, he built Mama Anna a house. He didn't build that house. The laborers were volunteers. The materials were bought by donators. You know, now he's turning around and he's building a house for his slave, Alex. I call Alex a slave because there's no definition as to what, you know, the job that he does for Marwa is basically doing anything that Marwa wants. and God knows how much or how little he's paid. It astonishes me that that poor man is able to support a family, and to even raise a family, having to spend day and night doing everything and anything that Marwa wants. Okay, but if you have seen the house, the great exponent of, making cement, bricks and everything to build, is building something which, on the one hand, I have no problems with. He's building one of these clay houses where they take and create a system of framing with sticks and trees and stuff it with mud. And when the mud hardens, if the person has enough money, they put on a skin of mud, and eventually they might put a layer of brick plastering on the outside. But, and some of those houses that are made that way turn out to be pretty nice houses. Diana Kemi's house was made that way. It's being made that way. And it's a comfortable cottage. Diana Kemi is one of the most unpretentious people on Facebook. She's not claiming to be building a villa or a mansion or a rancho. She's building a comfortable little cottage for herself. And she may expand it later on or she may not. I suggest that Diana Kemi probably is better off putting her energy into building her house, because there are men that will use a woman. There are men that have a girlfriend and they see them building a house, and instead of really, really making an effort to help their girlfriend build that house, they start building one in competition. A man who does that isn't serious about that woman. A man who does that isn't serious about anything. But I digress. The point is that place that Marwa is building for Alex, I look at it, and the thing that struck me immediately about it is there are no windows. Now, in all fairness, mud houses are built without windows. And you get to a certain point and they cut out some of the wood and make a window. But that place looks horrible. That place looks bleak. Isn't Marwa supposed to be the richest man in Kenya? Isn't Marwa supposed to be richer than the president of Kenya? If all of that is really true, why is he building, his right hand an oversized shack? I mean, it's like you look at the roof, and the roof is supposed to be already made, and you see just as much sunlight as, well, let me not exaggerate. You see a lot of sunlight looking at that roof. And, it's like they were very careful as to where they were filming, because I suspect that water is coming through that roof. I don't understand what the deal is with Marwa being incapable of building a house or a structure that's watertight. Fellow the Boy has no problem doing it. Zach Discovery has no problems doing it. Mike Adventures has no problems doing it. Most of these other people build houses. And whatever you say about those houses or do not say, at least they are watertight. They are waterproof. Anyway, I look at all of that and I say to myself, Alex isn't being done a favor. Folks, if you have, Asante Asana, if you have watched the video this far, please like and subscribe. My channel is growing. It's growing slowly, but I need for it to keep on growing. And the only way that it's going to keep on growing is if people like you go ahead and subscribe. Please comment. Please share. I love comments. I love talking to the people who make comments. There are channels in which the person who owns the channel is so arrogant that they never talk to the people who comment. Okay, if I go on a channel and I make comments and I never see a comment from the person who's posting the videos, I eventually leave the channel. My attitude is, you know, at the end of the day, God made me just like He made you. And if you think that you're too good to talk to somebody like me, you're too good to have my subscription. You know, please subscribe to my channel. May Allah bless you. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. Please keep baby Carol and Diana Kemi in prayer. Baby Carol has a relative who is going through some health issues. Until the next time, quiet.